Big one out west as Orange County welcome Las Vegas to Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California. Happy to have you with us for this one alongside the former pro Chris Nurse. I'm Joe Malfa. This match presented by Hogue, the official healthcare partner of OCSC. And Chris, as we take a look at the standings here, you see how much this game means. Earlier tonight, the Oakland Roots picked up a victory against Loudoun United, which pushed both Vegas and Orange County further down the table, though a win for either tonight, and they could end up right back above that playoff line. For this Orange County side, it's a welcome sight to finally be back home. 5 of their last 6 games have come on the road, but they've been downright dominant at home this year in a game they really have to have.
Yeah, for Orange County, for both of these teams, they're both sitting outside of the playoff positions right now, so 3 points is a must for both of these teams. It's probably a little bit more onus on Orange County, given they're the home team tonight. And
they've really had a comfort this season at home. You see they're 5-7-2 the overall record, but 4-2-1 at home. They just have such a great comfort here.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt. Kyle Scott obviously left the club, and he's been one of my favourite players to watch for Orange County over the years. Given his injuries, I think his presence, his leadership is going to be vastly missed.
The player to watch tonight, presented by Liona, is Nico Benalcazar. So with Kyle Scott going out, who steps up? We think it's him.
Yeah, 2 goals, assists in 14 appearances this season. He's going to need to turn it up a little bit in the second half of this season to keep up with the top attacking players in the league. He's going to have to step up a little bit, and obviously there's a gap that's been left, but leadership, opportunity, this is the moments that are provided with this kind of things.
Going up a team that's been really good defensively. Season between these two teams. Vegas took the first 2, one in the regular season and one in the Jägermeister Cup. That means revenge is on the mind of Orange County, who do not want to be blanked in the season series by Vegas. It's Orange County and Vegas coming your way on ESPN+.
At the Pickup Family Neurosciences Institute, we function as a unit. Neurosurgery and neurology, physical medicine and rehab, physical therapy. It's patient-focused, patient-centered care. The future of the neurosciences at Hogue is filled with promise. We are at the cusp of incredible advancements and innovations that are truly going to transform medical care and its delivery. Patients don't just get a doctor when they come to Hogue, they get Team Hogue.
I'm Jay, and as founder of Omega, I understand that as a business owner, you've got a lot in your mind. Let the tax credit ninjas at Omega get you the money. It's rightfully yours. It's not too late to score big on tax credits, but you gotta act fast.
Kids grow up fast. You know when I first started noticing it? When I stopped getting hugs. With Command IQ, I found a way to get the hugs back. Watch.
Dad, the Wi-Fi is down.
Oh, let me see if I can fix it.
It's back. Thanks, Dad. You're the best.
With Command IQ, you can bring the hugs back.
RAV4 hybrid shoppers, listen up. You're paying more and getting less. The all-new Mazda CX-50 hybrid packs the same Toyota trusted hybrid powertrain, but delivers premium performance and more luxury. Why pay RAV4 prices when you get more with the CX-50 hybrid? And while Toyota dealers struggle with inventory, we have CX-50 hybrids in stock now at Tustin Mazda. Better tech, better value. Skip the wait. Buy a Mazda CX-50 hybrid now at Tustin Mazda. Think hybrid, think Mazda.
Tonight's match is presented by Raising Cane's. Time to meet the starting lineups brought to you by Zulfagari Law. We begin with the home side. This is the look for Danny Stone.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt in their performance tonight, but Danny Stone spoke about trying to be defensively solid, moving on from the Carl Scott era. He was such a big player in this squad. It's going to be interesting who takes on that leadership responsibility now.
On the other side for Las Vegas, Giovanni Troise, the head coach, is not on the sideline tonight. It will be Maxi Rabinovich, the acting head coach, and this is his 11.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they're able to take advantage of Orange County. So important for Orange County to pick up 3 points tonight. Looking at the league standings live, they're currently sitting in the last position, and we're going into the last half of the season. They want to make the player positions. Both of these teams, it's going to be important for them to pick up 3 points.
Keep an eye again on Sean Smart. We spotlighted him top of the broadcast on that right side as that right wing back. And speaking with Gio Troise this week, he likened him to Achraf Hakimi. He didn't want anybody to come away from that conversation thinking that he was comparing Las Vegas to PSG or he was comparing Sean Smart to the quality of Hakimi. But he means stylistically, that's the role he wants him to embrace as essentially an extra forward from that right wing back position.
Yeah, and obviously that's a comparison that brings a lot of pressure onto a player. So I'm sorry, that's what he was trying to stay away from. But I think what he's trying to bring out there is consistency. We spoke about the impact he's had so far, but can he continue to do it at a high level week after week, month after month, and really establish himself as one of the best players in his league, in his position?
It'll be Las Vegas in the blue from left to right, Orange County in their traditional orange tops, black bottoms from right to left. Orange County happy to be back in front of the home crowd after spending so much time on the road, including a road loss last week, 2-1 against Monterey Bay. Vegas coming off a heartbreaking 4-3 loss against FC Tulsa, in which they battled from 2-0 down, led 3-2, but faltered at the finish line, 4-3. Ethan Zubak looking to get back on track offensively for Orange County. 3 goals this season. He's only scored in 2 games, the season opener and a couple of weeks ago against El Paso. Referee in charge, Elton Garcia. We wait for his whistle to send us on our way, and there we go. Happy to have you with us on ESPN Plus. Alongside former pro Chris Nurse, I'm Joe Malfa. And right away, you see that strategy that we're seeing pop up more and more around the world. Vegas taking the kickoff and just dumping it down into the corner.
I was about to answer if somebody was injured. Why I got kicked out of play so freely, but moving on.
I just mentioned the comparison that Gio Troise sees for his team to PSG. That was the strategy PSG made popular in Champions League and Club World Cup over the last few weeks and months, where they just take the kickoff, put it in the corner, and then start pressing you to set the tone.
It reminds me of old school English. When I was growing up, that was kind of what we would do from kickoff, is we'd just diagonal into the corners and then you squeeze out the field and try and box things in, and then things elaborate a little bit more where you wanted to try to control possession, get a good first pass, and build your confidence and momentum from there. But it just shows how the game continuously goes around in circles, and there's not one way that governs everything. Just to highlight on the tables, Orange County, as things currently stand in live standings, bottom of the Western Conference. Last year's champions, Colorado Springs, are just above them in 11th, and in the Eastern Conference you have Tampa Bay Rowdies, who are 11 out of 12. So you have 3 of the champions in the past 5 years who currently see themselves in the future will be relegation territory, but outside of the positions. And I think this is a very turbulent season. Maybe it's seen some abnormal stand-ins than we've seen in previous years, because these are 3 teams that you'd expect to see challenging for number 1, not necessarily sitting at the bottom of each of their respective conferences. So some abnormal happenings happening in USL Championship this season, but I think everybody's excited for the integration of promotion relegation, because it's really going to put a different spin on some of these scenarios.
All of that said, table is incredibly tight. A win for Orange County, and they go from bottom to above the playoff line. And with that, we'll take a look at the keys of the game presented by Patterson Auto. What do you got for us, Chris?
Yeah, for Orange County, as we spoke about, you're sitting bottom of the table. Though there is a lot of games left in the second half of the season, you want to start to pick up 3 points more frequently, quickly, and find yourself in that top 8 seed so that you can really start competing for position. For Las Vegas, as we spoke about, can they continue to keep clean sheets? They're starting to work on things offensively, but the foundation of being successful is
now right off the free kick, looking for the flick on, nearly had it.
Most certainly going to be built on being defensively solid. They don't have that one player, that standout attacker that's going to necessarily flip the game for them on single-handedly, so they need to make sure collectively they continue to remain defensively solid.
They've been a dangerous team this year. Set pieces, creating chances. A good conversation with Danny Stone this week. As the results have slowly faded away for Orange County, and so too in some respect have the goals. They're not really discouraged. They feel a lot of the underlying numbers, the expected goals, the big chances created, the touches in the opposing 18-yard box, things like that, all still bode well for them, paint a prettier picture, even though the goals haven't quite been there for Orange County.
Yeah, and if you look at both conferences and you look at the top 4 teams in both conferences, all of them are in the plus for goal differential, whether it's +2 goal differential for a couple of teams, or +22 if you're Charleston Battery, or +17 if you're Liverpool City. For the 2 teams that we're looking at this evening, both are in the negative. Las Vegas -11 in goal differential, and Orange County -4 in goal differential. So you can look at that statistic alone and say it's going to be very difficult to be a champion come the end of the season if your goal differential is -11. So as you spoke about, Las Vegas have done a good job of keeping clean sheets, but they've got to go one step further now and take those clean sheets into wins, but also reducing the margins that they lose by, because there's been a couple of occasions where they've had some very heavy losses, where things go out of hand pretty quickly and it starts to go against them. So they've got to tighten up in those aspects of the game.
Chris Pearson stands over this free kick. Opportunity to get a service in. It's short. Budati. Turn, it's Budati to the end line. And take a deflection, ends up off the outside of the netting, but out for a goal kick harmlessly. Take a look at the injury report presented by Zulfagari Law coming into this one. Both of these teams have had some issues with injuries. It's Duty, Traeger, and McKinnon out for Orange County. None reported officially for Vegas, but they are keeping out Pinzon and Ascona, 2 key players, as a precaution. So nothing officially reported for Vegas, but those are 2 guys that are on that injury radar still.
Yeah, we're at that phase of the season where the fixtures start to pile up alongside the temperatures. So you have Jägermeister Cup, you have Open Cup, you have the increase in temperatures. So there's a lot more games, a lot less recovery time, and then the increase in heat makes it a time when injuries generally start to tick up a little bit.
That left side again through Yunus Budati. His 10th start of the season, versatile player. Could use him as a wing back or as a center back or step him up into the midfield. A number of players who have taken on a number of different roles this year for Vegas because of the coaching change. Could not be more different stylistically between what it was under Antonio Nocerino and what it is under Giovanni Troise. Two back. Is it off to Partida? Chris Hagart harassed on this left side by Patrick Leal, keeps his footing. It's a throw for Orange County.
Yeah, I think under Nocerino's stints in both Miami and in Las Vegas, he struggled to develop a winning culture in either environment. Obviously in Miami it was a lot younger players. In Las Vegas that wasn't necessarily the case, but we saw similar styles of play, similar mistakes, and similar issues in both teams. So I think it was maybe what just wasn't a good fit for coach and players or coaching organisation at that point in time. It's not to say that he won't be successful at another organisation, another period in time. But I think at this phase, things just weren't working out on either side of the Western or the Eastern Conference, to say the least.
Maxi Rabinovic, again, the acting head coach tonight for Las Vegas. Gio Troise coming off a red card last game, so serving out his suspension tonight. Rabinovic sees the game the same way as Troise, which is why he was given the tap on the shoulder to be the acting head coach here in this one. They had some back and forth in the week, wondering who it would be, but in the end it became clear. Sean Smart, nice move, gets past his man, and Ryan Dogman, who brings him down. Free kick and a good spot coming for the Lights.
Yeah, and of course we spoke about what's at stake for Orange County tonight. They're at home in front of their whole crowd. They're currently sitting bottom of the Western Conference. And this is an organisation that were champions. They went through adversity. They stuck together as fans, players, organisation when the team was going through a turbulent time and was potentially going to be sold and fold. And they managed to fight out. So it's a team that is expected to fight, to compete, to overcome adversity, to represent the intentions of the fans. And of course, being at home, they're the team that onus is on to dominate possession of the game, to create goal scoring and chances, to play fluent and attacking soccer. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to match those expectations.
Valentin Noel from the free kick, looking back post over everybody. The annual Corporate Cup is coming back on September 19th. Corporate Cup is a 7v7 co-ed adult soccer tournament that raises money for the OCSC Foundation Soccer for All programs. If your organization has what it takes to win the trophy, register now at orangecountysoccer.com/corporate cup. What do you think, Chris? Do you think we could get a few people on our crew?
Got it.
7v7. Were you playing yourself at your age in your current shape? Where are you playing on the field?
Goalkeeper. Any other position and it's a red card pending.
Contact there. Flipping his head around, asking for a foul was Ethan Zubak. One of those players that Orange County really need to get going here in the second half of the season. Last year had 10 goals in his return to the championship after 2 years in MLS. This year just 3 goals now in his 9th start. Up back and through down that right side. Mahamadou War down that right side, feeding essentially looking for Zubak. Intercepted by Gartig. Here's Usman Silla. In his rookie year, has been a bright spot, feeding it through at the back post. It was begging to be tapped home, and it's out for a goal kick.
Into the back post, unmarked, is going to tap this into the back of the net for one of the easiest goals they're going to have in their career. And Alcazar is actually there in the closest to that area, just doesn't make the run. And on the replay, you can see by his body language, he regrets not making the run, but that's what's required. Sometimes you make the runs and you don't get the ball, but definitely when you don't make the run, there's no chance that you're going to be on the scoring end, and I think that's one of those occasions there. But now Ben Alcazar will know the next time the ball is in that situation, he's going to be more proactive to make that run in behind.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast with Kyle Scott on the move away from Orange County, who steps up. And Alcazar, somebody to be highlighted as being that guy, but Usman Silla is another interesting one. 11 appearances, 5 starts, coming in with 2 assists. Very creative player. His first year in USL Championship after he spent last year in the Houston Dynamo organization. Standout player collegiately at Clemson, won a national title in 2023. Award winner in both the national scale and the ACC scope. Won that Mac Herman trophy, the equivalent of the Heisman trophy per se. Clemson in 2023 when they won the national title. He's starting to come into his own now at Orange County and find a rhythm in this team. There was your first glimpse at him tonight, putting that ball through, just waiting for somebody to tap it home. Already with 2 assists in his 5 starts. Usman Silla.
Yeah, I always thought that Kyle Scott was one of the best centre midfielders in the league when he was healthy. And it was always, for me, probably a loyalty reason why he stayed in Orange County. I always thought he had the potential to go on and compete at one of the bigger organisations who consistently challenge for first place in the league, but he always stayed in Orange County. It was obviously a big part of the leadership of the mentality and everything that's going on.
Good run here from Dogman looking through. Ethan Zubak couldn't direct it on frame. Still alive here. Contact there. Penalty. No doubt about it. Chris Hagar won the ball, drew the penalty. It's Sean Smart who's walking away knowingly that it was a mistake.
Yeah, we highlighted Smart for his attacking capabilities, but this definitely wasn't Smart defending. The ball just falls out loose here on the edge of the box after a good run forward here from Dogman. And Smart just dangles a leg. He doesn't slow himself down, just dangles his left leg out. Higgett makes no mistake of selling it a little bit more than maybe it was, but the referee's in a good position there. Penalty kick is the right decision.
Opportunity here, 12 minutes in front of the home crowd to take a lead. Stepping up to the spot, it's Ethan Zubak. 3 goals on the season. 1 came in the season opener against the Oakland Roots. He had 2 against El Paso. Had 10 goals last season. They've been waiting for him to really take off. Sometimes for a striker, all it takes is 1, but he's against one of the best penalty stoppers in the league in Arozarena. It's Zubak denied, rebound put home! Followed up the save and gives Orange County the lead.
Well, Arozarena didn't let you down when you said he was one of the best penalty kick savers in the league. He did his job, but he was just unable to push the first strike away from goal. Rebounds straight back down the middle. See that dangled leg that gave away the penalty kick initially. Arozarena was a fantastic save at first, but Zubak follows in the rebound. side, puts into the back of the net and gives Orange County the lead.
That goal brought to you by Hogue. It's the 4th on the season for Ethan Zubak. He had to work a little bit harder for it than he intended when he stepped up to the spot. But it all counts the same in the end. And it was last year, down the stretch, a strong closing kick to the season. 6 of his 10 goals came in the last 9 games. There's still more runway than just 9 games left of this season, but they want that same closing kick. Look out! Given away by Arozarena, and he fumbles back and gathers it. Almost disastrous for Vegas in the span of 60 seconds.
Yeah, a little bit calamitous at the back for Vegas. They just need to slow down the game a little bit. Get composed, get organized. Start themselves potentially giving another goal away straight away after conceding from the penalty spot. They just need to calm things down a little bit and get a foot in a grip on the game.
Arozarena last year was part of something special in the playoffs for Vegas against Sacramento. Come back to that in a moment. It's brought down by War, but with a hand. In that playoff game against Sacramento, went to a shootout. Never seen this before, probably will never see it again. The first 5 penalties were saved. No misses, no posts, no shots off target. Between Danny Vidiello and Raiko Arozarena, the first 5 penalties were saved. Arozarena made 3 of those saves and continued to have success, both for club and country, with Cuba and Vegas on penalty shots. But this one, the rebound goes right back to Zubak.
Yeah, I think he would have just liked to have pushed it away from goal a little bit. Unfortunately, straight back down the middle, Zubak was going to make no mistake with the rebound.
Giving away again, looking back post here. Amadou War. It's a slight flick on, out for a goal kick. They're playing with fire right now at the back, Vegas.
Yeah, you start to see a little bit risk versus reward. I would say a team that's in the phase that they are in the season maybe plays with a little bit more caution around the back, but they're playing a very expansive, entertaining style of play when they're building up from the back, with Arozarena almost going into a centre-back position. They're almost leaving the goal wide open. You have to be very, very competent in your ball ability to keep possession of the ball to play in that mannerism. It's going to be interesting how they do it over the course of the season. Over the course of this game, obviously, we've already seen a couple of cracks in his opening 15 minutes and opportunities for Orange County that they didn't capitalise on. But let's see if Las Vegas stay committed to how they started this game and how they're playing up from the back.
Check out the new arrivals for the 2025 season. This week's new arrivals features the Back to Blue collection, including a royal blue and orange scarf. Fan favorites, Sporty Ultra Cozy hoodies and t-shirts. Visit OCSCshop.com. Vegas responded last week. They went down 2-0 against Tulsa, roared back to take a 3-2 lead, but ultimately stumbled and lost it 4-3 in a back-and-forth game. They need a similar response here tonight after that early concession.
I think part of the success or strength or positivity that Orange County can take into the second half of the season, that you do have a strong structure of players who have been with the organisation for a significant amount of time. You still have Shuttler, you have Dogman, you have Partido, you have Zubak, and then coming off the bench, you also have Jameson. You have players who understand this organisation, understand the fans, and have been part of the successes and the losses for a significant amount of time. So it's not a brand new team under completely brand new leadership. There's players that do understand the expectations and the demands and can pull it together and have success. It just needs to be a lot sooner rather than later, knowing that the second half of the season will fly by pretty quickly.
This is around the time last year that Danny Stone took charge of this team and ultimately led it into the postseason. He feels it's a similar setup in terms of a team that's ready to take off, but definitely different teams' characteristics. Last year to this year, Shani Rodriguez is the concern right now. Help back to his feet. USL on ESPN2 continues July 26. Jägermeister Cup Round 4 between Detroit City FC of the USL Championship and Westchester SC, a League One newcomer. That is Saturday the 26th, a week from today at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. That game could be the Jägermeister Cup in all of its glory, with the intention of the wild card spots and the first tiebreaker being goals scored. Detroit City are in a position where they have to win to get to 8 points, and they probably have to score about 3 goals in the process to have a chance at the wild card. So the chips fell perfectly for that to be the showcase game on ESPN2 next week.
I think the Jägermeister Cup has provided an additional competition for teams to get silverware. Obviously, we look at the playoff champions, we look at regular season champions.
Bugatti going for goal, it's blocked on the way through.
We look at Open Cup champions. It's been a while since we've had a USL Championship team win the Open Cup, but the Jägermeister Cup definitely provides an opportunity for teams to compete for silverware, which is what it's all about at the end of the day.
Ball played in behind, two-handed shove defensively from Jack Singer, and Elton Garcia makes the call.
I'm not sure that's smart defending it. Again, from Singer there, the first shove, and then after the referee blows the whistle, he then turns around and kicks the ball away. I think he has to make sure he regulates his emotions there, because the last thing you want to do is get a silly yellow card and then be treading eggshells for the remainder of the game in that situation.
Ryan Dogman provides such a danger from his left back position for Orange County, the 28-year-old from Oslo, Norway. A goal and 2 assists this season, and 2 goals, 2 assists last season. But a lot of opportunities are generated by his runs up and down that left side, even if they don't always end up with a goal or an assist. Hagart stands over the free kick. Zubak always the big target on these plays. 20 minutes in, whipped in. Second effort here for Hagart. Gets by Smart, delivering back post over everything. Rescued on the far side.
Hagart showing his ability there to play both feet, delivers the free kick with his right foot, then delivers the next cross of his left foot. The free kick was actually a great delivery. Nobody connected with it in the near post area. It's exactly the delivery you asked your set piece takers to deliver into the box.
Misread by Johnny Rodriguez, leading scorer for this Vegas side. 6 goals on the season. His first in Vegas, coming over from the Oakland Roots. I'd like to see him get a lot more opportunities now in this new system for Vegas ever since Gio Torrise took over for Antonio Nocerino. Had a good conversation with Coach Torrise this week, even though he's, again, not coaching tonight. Maxi Rabinovich, the acting head coach, just sees the game so differently from Nocerino. You usually expect when an assistant gets promoted for a head coach who's been let go, for the most part, you're going to see the game the same way. It's typically why coaches pick their assistants, but not the case here. Nocerino, for that old school Italian style defense first. If you could win a game 0-0, you'd like to. Torrise sees it differently. He'd rather see games that are 4-3. If you're on the wrong side of it, at least it was entertaining. At least you gave it a go, and that's exactly what it was last week. They were on the wrong side of a 4-3, but just so much more initiative on the offensive side is how Torrise and his acting head coach tonight, his goalkeeper coach, typically Maxi Rabinovich, see it.
Yeah, and I think that is an important part to have a mindset of offensive, but the defensive mindset has already obviously been established by Nocerino. And as the assistant coach, you're able to sit and observe the things that work well, and you're obviously able to sit and observe the things that don't work well. Of course, you're not the head coach, so you can't define your ideas or put your ideas onto the team. Your goal is to support the ideas of the head coach. You don't want 2 head coaches, you want somebody having the ideas and then somebody supporting. So now him being able to see some of the things that went well defensively, some of the things that needed improvement defensively. He obviously had his ideas offensively. He now has the opportunity to implement his own ideas, and I imagine he still probably has somebody on his staff who takes care of things defensively, and he's obviously...
Well, miscommunication at the back here. Sean Smart tried to take advantage of it, but Colin Shuttler did just enough.
He's obviously taking responsibility of the offensive approach of the team, which is all part of have a multi-discipline staff on your roster, is that you have some members of staff who are more defensive minded and members of staff who are also offensive minded on top of your goalkeeper coaches. So I think having the whole holistic team is really what builds up successful squads.
Smart read that well, almost took complete advantage of a miscommunication at the back line by Orange County, who now can settle into an attack once again. All the way back for Colin Shuttler. A couple of weeks away from his 27th birthday. He's emerged as a regular in goal these last couple of years now for Orange County.
I think the surprising part, Joe, is that it's always surprising to me when a head coach gets fired and the assistant coach doesn't work with them, or the assistant coach doesn't go with them. You know, you normally arrive as one staff, and more often than not, you leave as one star.
Amadou Orr has been a handful down that far side. Yunus Budati, Nate Jones have struggled with his pace and ability so far in this one. The 25-year-old making only his 3rd start of the season. Entered preseason as an open trialist. It's his 2nd time trying out for Orange County. This time he's stuck, and he's stuck in a big way. Grew up in Japan. Spent last year with LA Force and Nisa. And this year, working it with Orange County. Starting to step up in a bigger way as the season has gone on. And Alcazar. Teed up, pokes it along. Cioto stepping through. Teenager lays it off. Usman Silla feeds it through. Flicked on. Here's Dogman. Deflected and in! A little bit of luck in the end. The payoff to a brilliant build. And Orange County lead by 2.
Spoke about Sia coming in and feeling the void of some of the players that left his organization, and for me, he's the player in this build-up that really has the biggest impact. If you look at his positioning on the edge of the box and when he receives it and how quickly he moves it along, see a drive forward here on the right-hand side, finds himself in space, controls it, finds the next pass, the next player's in space, and that's where this opportunity comes from. If Sia dwells on that ball or he doesn't have the instinct to know where the next pass is going, this opportunity doesn't even arise, but it's his ability in the center of the park to already have the vision to know where his teammates are, that keeps the ball moving and frees up this opportunity for Dogman, who you spoke about previously. One of the most offensive fullbacks in the league, gets himself on the score sheet. An important game for Orange County. We highlighted at the beginning of this game that it's important for them to get 3 points, to play well in front of their home fans, and to kind of revitalise themselves in their playoff push, and they've definitely done that in the opening 25 minutes of the game. Still a long time to go, but they've started exceptionally well.
That goal presented by Hogue. That's 2 in the early going for Orange County. On a night where this result is so pivotal, such a bunched up table in the Western Conference. Oakland went from 12th a few weeks ago to 8th tonight after they upset Loudoun on the road. But now with this current scoreline, Orange County knocked Oakland out of 8th into 9th. Both would be on 20 points. Orange County have the tiebreaker over Oakland. So as difficult as things have been as of late for Orange County, you can leave tonight in a playoff position if things hold as they are, but it's not going to be easy. We talked about it earlier. Vegas last week were down 2-0 against FC Tulsa and scored 3 straight before ultimately Tulsa went on to win it 4-3. They roared back from 2-0 down to 3-2 up. Can they replicate that here?
Yeah, this is the turbulence of the standings right now. You can start the night rock bottom at the bottom of the conference, and then by the end of the night you could potentially be sitting in a playoff position. We highlighted keys to the games, and for Orange County the key was to get 3 points. For Las Vegas it was to keep a clean sheet, and they've not done that so far in this game. And obviously they're not going to be able to do that anymore. And that was one of the foundations that we had for them going on to be more successful, was to be able to lock down that defense and continue to have clean sheets. They now find themselves minus 13 on their goal differential, which is, again, one of the statistics that we look at when you look at teams that are going to be successful postseason. It's having the ability to obviously score more than you concede. And they've struggled to do that on many occasions so far this season.
Budati squares it back. Finding any clean looks right now, Vegas. Chris Pearson ends up on the ball. 1 shot, nothing on target, only 46% of the ball. And 2 they've had to pick out of their own net through 26 minutes for Vegas.
And of course, some of the things that coaches will be looking at. Okay, you're 10, 11, 12 in the standings. Maybe you're not going to be judged on your wins against Tulsa or San Antonio, but you're definitely going to be judged on winning or competing well against the teams in and around you. For Las Vegas and Orange County, they find themselves in similar scenarios outside of the playoff positions, and this is a game that Las Vegas, on a uptick in performance or change of staff, this is a game that they should be competing, looking to win, looking to pick up 3 points. Find themselves 2 down in 25 minutes is probably a little bit disappointing when they're looking at where they start in the standings and where Orange County are, but there's still a long time to play. It's going to be interesting to see how they're able to adapt and how they go about getting themselves back in the score sheet in this game.
Elton Garcia tried to play advantage, never materialized. USL on CBS Sports Network wraps up July with a championship showdown. Eastern Conference Hartford Athletic take on one of the Western Conference top performers in New Mexico United. That is Wednesday, July 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network.
When you look at the standings and you actually look at both of these two teams, alongside Lexington, both Las Vegas and Orange County are two of the lowest scoring teams in the league right now. Orange County have scored just 18 goals, and Las Vegas have scored just 13 goals so far this year. Lexington 17. So Las Vegas is not a team that's able to come out and score 4, 5 or 6 goals. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to get back into this game. For Orange County, it's a step forward if they can continue to put the ball in the back of the net and keep clean sheets and start to turn around their goal differential.
There's Hagar finding Silla. He's been pulling the strings well so far tonight. Silla out to War. Mohamedou War delivering, flicked on. Oh, begging at the back post before the clearance from Jack Singer.
Yeah, and you look back at the opportunity that Orange County had early on in the game when Benaz Kazar didn't make the run to the back post from the cross that came in from Sia. I think it was that delivered it. And then you look at the next goal where Dogman is at that back post completely all alone. So you're seeing where the space is for Orange County to attack and to have success. The first time they didn't take advantage of it, the second time they made no mistake of it.
Well, Orange County thought they had won that clean. Anthony Garcia saw it differently. Alcazar commits the foul.
I'm sure I agree, that's a foul there. There's a lot of ball and just a little bit of the man.
If anything, it might have been a little tug by Ben Alcazar before he went to ground, because as you mentioned, when he went to ground, it looked clean.
If you look at the defending on this right-hand side for Las Vegas, Singer's been guilty of a couple of dubious fouls and some poor emotional control. Smart obviously made the tackle that gave away the penalty kicks. If you're looking at which side Orange County are able to have success right now, they've definitely had some success attacking the right-hand side of Las Vegas, but the deliveries have mainly come in from the opposite side. It's just been runs into towards the back post that brought those post-scoring opportunities.
Rodriguez never shy from distance. Ended up easy in the end for Shuttler, and it's the first shot on target of the match for Las Vegas. Comes a half an hour in, and we're happy to have you with us on ESPN+. Alongside the former pro Chris Nurse, I'm Joe Malfa. 2 goals in the early going for Orange County.
Yeah, I think sometimes you feel sorry for Rodriguez because he's such a hard-working player in the front line for Las Vegas. Even you think back to the game where they got absolutely destroyed by San Antonio, he was the one player on the pitch that continued to work hard to try and make things happen, to close things down, but he just didn't have the support and the intentions from the players around him. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can really get the best out of Rodriguez by surrounding him with teammates who can provide the service, because we know he's capable of scoring goals. He's proven that, but also matches tenacity in his work rate.
Last week for Vegas, again, it was down 2-0 in the early going against FC Tulsa. Tonight they concede in the 12th minute and the 24th minute. Last game it was similar. It was the 9th minute and the 16th minute. They went into the half-hour mark down 2-0, but they went into halftime 2-2. It was Rodriguez in the 33rd, Sean Smart in first half stoppage time. So this is right around the time last week. We're down 2-0. Vegas turned things around. See if they can replicate that here tonight.
Yeah, for Orange County, this is where you need your leadership or your more experienced players on the pitch to kind of govern things, to take responsibility of managing the tempo of play, decisions in possession, the rhythm of the game. You need your leaders on the pitch to kind of control this. Going into the last 15 minutes before halftime, and you're 2-0 ahead, you know you don't necessarily need to chase the game and get opened up, but you do need to be responsible in your position and limit the opportunities that you give to the opponents. And you look for the players on the pitch to govern in those moments, because when the coach gets involved, it's probably a moment too late. The players, especially your centre-backs, they can govern and command things before they happen.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy of the Big League, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Contact up around the head from Jack Singer. You mentioned he's the one who's had a couple of emotional moments in this game, and for the second time he kicks the ball away afterwards. This time he does not get away with it. Yellow to Jack Singer.
Yeah, on both occasions. You look at the first one where he double shove in the back and then he kicks the ball away. He was lucky not to get booked on that one, and now he's getting booked on this one. So if you're Orange County and you see this, you're going to start going and seeing it every time. Number one, because he can't afford to make one bad tackle, and number two, because he needs to regulate his emotions very quickly, because if he continues down the line that he started in this opening 30 minutes, he'll be the one putting himself into the book for the second card. There won't be anybody needing to do anything additional. So he probably needs his teammates to have a word with him, to calm down and get a grip of himself a little bit, or he's going to leave them at a further disadvantage.
It's fair to wonder whether he only has himself 12 more minutes left in this game. He might be a halftime sub, the way things have gone for Vegas. He's been beaten a couple of times down this side. He had the yellow. He's had 2 moments where he's lost his cool. And they do have a natural change they can make. They can slide Budati into this back line of 3, and they could bring in Gennaro Nigro at that left wing back position. It's the first game of the season here that Nigro would be coming in off the bench. He started every other appearance so far. They do have the option.
It would just depend how much his coach trusts him. If his coach believes he's a player who can play on a yellow card and make smart decisions, then you leave him in. If he doesn't think he has that capability, because there's many players who can play on yellow cards and don't get the red. But there's some players that don't know how to play on the edge like that, and it can obviously be a big liability for your team. So it just depends on the trust that he has with his coach, and if his coach believes he has that capability to see the game out.
12 minutes in, Ethan Zubak had a penalty that was saved. Put home the rebound. 12 minutes later, Ryan Dogman on a deflection went over the head of Areco Rosarena. Very well might have been a goal without a deflection, but we'll never know. It ended up anyway. Pearson.
You can see Orange County making it really difficult now for Las Vegas. 11 players behind the ball, allowing the centre-backs to have it, just keeping their shape, making it very difficult for them to break in between. I would even say they're maybe being a little overzealous in how they're pressing and chasing here. They can be more patient, but they forced a mistake and get back possession of the ball, so you can't really knock it.
Good grab from the fan in the stands, too. No goalie gloves, nothing. Just snatched it. I believe there's a kid next to that fan as well, so double duty there. Nice grab, and he also saved the kid who might not have been paying attention. Closing in from Vegas. Back to Tom Brewitt. Such a steady player on that back line for Orange County. 15th start of the season for Tom Brewitt. 28-year-old from Liverpool. His return to USL Championship this year. Singer directing traffic. Forced back to Nate Jones.
Very impressive. Orange County, when they do press, they do all go together. Even though on this occasion they weren't able to win the ball from Las Vegas, the synchronization in the movements was definitely there. It wasn't just one player pressing on their own and getting caught out. There was definitely signals and intent in how they were pressing as a team.
But Alcazar feeds it through for Hagar, touched along, another chance here, over the bar. Wasted by Ethan Zubak. He looks skyward in anguish, one that he knows he probably should have finished off.
Yeah, this was probably the easiest chance of the 3 that they've had. He's all alone, he has time and space. He just needs to slot this into the lower corner, and he's got the 3rd goal of the game. So much time. Look, just slot it. He doesn't need to go higher. He doesn't need to go hard. Just pass it past the keeper into the back of the net. He's done the goalkeeping there for Rosarena. Fantastic opportunity for Zubak to get his 2nd of the night.
Another chance there that was started by Usman Silla. He was brought down. He did enough as he was going to ground to feed it through into space for Ben Alcazar. Elton Garcia played the advantage, and that was the chance that came about. It's going to be that coming out party for Usman Silla that we've been talking about in the absence of Kyle Scott. The move that he made abroad to England.
Crazy pass there from Rosarena out from the back. It's a poor pass. It's bouncing 3 or 4 times before it gets to his teammate. Evidently, it turns over possession, but you just wonder what's the purpose of playing out with that level of risk when you're 2-0 down already in the game.
And the turn, it's Hagar. Feeds it back through for Dogman, who has a goal already. for a goal kick. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Orange County ready to pounce here on the edge of the box. They're just looking for that short pass to just initiate a trigger to go hard. And I think that was one of the traits that we saw under Noscherino, was the way they play out from the back with the goalkeeper. It was often one of the things that led to goal scoring opportunities.
Give it away. Pearson takes a player down. What color is this card? Is it a last man situation? It is. From bad to worse for Vegas. Down 2 goals, now down a man. Free kick coming from the edge of the area for Orange County. An early shower for Chris Pearson.
And I think we were just discussing the opportunities given away when playing out from the back under the previous, with Miami FC under Noscherino, but with Las Vegas under Noscherino. Obviously Noscherino's not there anymore, but the risk of the goalkeepers playing this pass, there's no way he can even go if he receives this pass. Partido, I think, sneaks in front of him, and it's a red card for, there's no need to be in that situation in the first place.
No doubt it was a last man with an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Some protests from the Vegas bench, but really no protest from Pearson.
It's Benal Cazar that sneaks in front of Pearson. But again, you look at the purpose and the intention in the way they're playing from the back. There's no way for him to go. It's a pass for the sake of a pass.
Question now is, can Orange County parlay that? There is a fine line where you're too close and it's difficult to get it up and over the wall, but still down underneath the bar. Let's see what Usman Silla has up his sleeve, or if somebody else steps up. Right now, it's Silla chatting with Partida. Hagart coming over for a look.
So many question marks on this Las Vegas side. Yes, you changed the head coach, but there's so many actions and decisions and moments in the game that just raise question marks. It may be deeper than that.
Is it Silla, or is it a roll back for somebody else to smash through? Tom Brewitt is there as an option. 6 in the wall. Usman Silla approaches, goes for a goal. It's so difficult from that close in to get it up and over, to get it back down.
We'll see if they're able to take advantage of being upper man knowing Orange County. Sometimes it can completely flip in reverse, so you're upper man and you actually, the team that's down starts to play better because they feel like they have nothing to lose anymore. But if they're really going to put their foot to the middle, they need to make sure they're moving the ball quickly, creating overloads in wide areas, using their numerical advantage and punishing in the attacking third.
Silla, full head of steam. Usman Silla with options. He lays it off. Mohamedou War scores! From bad to worse to nightmarish for Vegas. Down a man and now down 3 goals. Mohamedou War triples the lead for Orange County.
And it's Silla again who comes up as the key player. Picks up the ball in the midfield, he drives forward, he attracts the defender to create space, he releases the pass, he makes the right pass at the right moment in front of his teammate, who makes no mistake burying it into the back of the net. For me, Sia has been the key man in his opening 41 minutes. For Las Vegas, there's so much to be broken down. 3-0 down against the team who started the night at the bottom of the table is really a statement of the direction that Orange County may be heading and the direction that Las Vegas may be heading right now.
You had to get the sense that at some point a third was coming. Goal brought to you by Hogue. Just the pressure that Orange County has been putting on Vegas. Red card aside, even after they went up 2-0, still playing 11v11. Wave after wave, chance after chance for Orange County. And the red card almost sealed that fate, that something more was coming in this first half.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Las Vegas, and you're looking at the statistics. They've scored 13 goals in 16 games this season, so less than 1 goal a game. They're now 3-0 down. It really takes something miraculous or a change in their season to really get themselves back into this game. I'm not sure we've seen a shot on target against Shuttler in his opening 42 minutes, but now they're also down a man, deservedly. It wasn't a harsh decision whatsoever. There's been some struggles on this right-hand side defensively. And Orange County have been good. Sia being the man in the midfielder who's really made the difference when he's picked up the ball. He's always looked lively going forward, like he's going to be the player who's been able to make something happen. Zubek has had a couple of chances. Orange County have been decent in this first half so far.
Decent? Up 3-0.
Decent, but I would say that Las Vegas haven't necessarily provided a challenge or been up to standard tonight. So given their opponents, I think they've been decent, but I think they've taken the chances that have been given to them.
And that's really half the battle sometimes. I mean, you look around this league. I had a chance to call a match a couple of weeks ago. Detroit City against the Oakland Roots. Oakland won that game 2-0 with a .09 expected goals tally. And then last week, Oakland had an expected goals of nearly 2, and they limited Phoenix to an expected goals of nearly, or less than 1 rather, and they lose that game 2-1. So go figure. The two ends of the coin, it really just comes down to finishing off the chances that are there, and Orange County has done so.
And this is where the statistics sometimes can be
maybe more. Hagart trying to step through, ushered away by Gartig.
We highlighted Las Vegas. I think they have 8 clean sheets so far this season. Maybe the highest clean sheets in the league, or highest number of clean sheets. Yet when they lose, they really lose big. When it goes downhill, it goes downhill really quick, really fast, and really heavy. So they're already 3-0 down in this game, which is why their goal differential looks so poor because for the number of clean sheets they have, when they lose by large margins.
Here are some of those margins. 3-0 defeat against San Antonio. In Jägermeister Cup, 4-0 against Sacramento. In regular season, 5-0 against Sacramento. They've had some spectacular collapses this season. Zubak lays it off for Dogman. Ryan Dogman has one of the goals in this first half. Nearly has another off the deflection, but Arozarena snatches.
If you're Danny Stoney and delivering the message at halftime to Orange County, for me, is don't take your foot off the gas. Continue to create, continue to be ruthless, continue to be clinical in front of goal. Start to develop habits that are going to allow you to be successful for the rest of the season. It's easy to be 3-0 up now, you get in front of goal, maybe you have a little less emphasis on scoring, or you make a wrong choice, or you take an extra touch. The key for me in that second half is, can they continue to be ruthless, can they continue to make the right choices, and can they continue to be clinical and show quality in the attacking third, whilst not giving up any goal scoring opportunities. I think a clean sheet today would also be massive for Orange County if they can do that.
2 more minutes tacked on here at the end of this first half. A first half that Vegas wished probably never started, and Orange County wishes never ends the way things have gone. The yellow shown to Nate Jones. Free kick for the home side. Montilla just takes it quickly. I don't know that we've seen Orange County click this way offensively really since the opening game of the season. A 4-2 win over the Oakland Roots. Those goals for the Roots came later on. It was a game that was really just dominated in every facet by Orange County.
Yeah, I think Sia's been very good so far in this game going forward. He's been the key player who's made the key passes. His positioning has been very good. He's been able to drive forward with the ball. He's full of energy.
They've had some other really positive results since that season opener, to be sure, Orange County. That includes a 3-0 win over El Paso on the road a month ago, a 3-1 win over Colorado Springs. But even in those games, it felt like they had to work a little harder than they have had tonight. And that's, to your point, something to be said about the performance from Vegas, but very crisp in all facets from Orange County. Correction, that last yellow to Valentin Noel, not Nate Jones on the Vegas side, pardon me. It's Noel and Singer in the book with yellows. Chris Pearson already sent off. Rodriguez goes for goal. They need a spark right now any way they can find it, and Rodriguez didn't miss by much.
Yeah, that's a fantastic effort there from Rodriguez. The first touch, sets himself with his second touch. It's not a bad strike at all from the distance he is. Receives on the half turn, sets himself. It's a great strike. You can see from Shuttler's reaction, it wasn't that far away at all. But again, Rodriguez is the guy who can provide that danger, but I feel like he's on an island on his own sometimes. Two
2 minutes of stoppage come and gone This will probably do it here for this first half. As soon as Shuttler puts it back into play. There is the whistle. It's a brilliant first 45 for Orange County as they take a 3-0 lead into the locker room.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic first half performance, one that they need to build on going into the second half. As I said, they're going to be a man up, but can they put the foot to the gas and go even further? Rather than taking their foot off the gas and relaxing, can they really build on this in the second half?
A team that has really struggled on the road this year. They've been excellent at home, and they're living up to that home success here. 3-0 through 45 minutes. Another packed house here at Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine. A helicopter flyover pre-match, and then they were flying high from the 12th minute onward. Zubac, Dogman, War, all tallying for Orange County. 3-0 lead into the break. More to come from Irvine.
Why is Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? It's because we only bottle the best Alpine spring water, less than 1.5 miles from the natural spring source. And we're committed to preserving and managing those springs to ensure that they stay pristine. So when you want the best water nature has to offer, the choice is crystal clear. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
RAV4 hybrid shoppers, listen up. You're paying more and getting less. The all-new Mazda CX-50 hybrid packs the same Toyota trusted hybrid powertrain, but delivers premium performance and more luxury. Why pay RAV4 prices when you get more with the CX-50 hybrid? And while Toyota dealers struggle with inventory, we have CX-50 hybrids in stock now at Tustin Mazda. Better tech, better value. Skip the wait. Buy a Mazda CX-50 hybrid now at Tustin Mazda. Think hybrid, think Mazda.
I'm Jay, and as founder of Omega, I understand that as a business owner, you've got a lot in your mind. Let the tax credit ninjas at Omega get you the money. It's rightfully yours. It's not too late to score big on tax credits, but you gotta act fast.
Just an outstanding first half from the perspective of Orange County, up 3-0 on Las Vegas. Step aside for a moment and let you take in the save and goal this past week across USL and also the player of the month.
Opportunity from distance, saved by Finiello. Upper corner look from Aaron Cavill.
Here is Serrato, left for Caldo. What a wonderful goal from the Brazilian. The shape of the shot was immaculate. He gave the goalkeeper no chance.
Didn't even look up to the box. This one's layered forward for Goodrum, and Goodrum takes the lead. Davila delivers. Point blank, it's knocked home. It's a hat trick. Goodrum knocks home another.
This week on USL All Access, the new Tampa Bay Rowdies head coach Tom Casciato and the Hartford Athletic head coach Brendan Burke joins us ahead of their big matchup here in Rhode Island.
El Clamico, one of the crown jewels of the USL Championship, Centerville Bank Stadium takes center stage on CBS. They're healthy, Are the results going to follow? Both coaches break down why they think success is in the future.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
Who wants that smoke? You want that smoke? Look, I ain't playing, I'm saying this ain't a joke. There ain't no bluffing, I'm calling you out for show. It's either all in or nothing, I go for broke. Who wants that smoke?
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off it. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
Pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
3 up top and not 2. Take a 2-1 Hartford.
Hands home at the back post. The Kings of Chaos strike again.
Why is Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? It's because we only bottle the best alpine spring water, less than 1.5 miles from the natural spring source. And we're committed to preserving and managing those springs to ensure that they stay pristine. So when you want the best water nature has to offer, the choice is crystal clear. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
3-0 lead for Orange County over Las Vegas through 45 minutes. We step away from this for a moment to take a broader look around USL Championship. First with some news and notes. Here this week is some milestones, some flowers to be given out. Neil Collins joins the 100-win club in USL Championship.
Yeah, fantastic to see him hit that mark. Obviously, he had a fantastic time previously with Tampa Bay Rowdies, and he continues to now have success with Sacramento Republic.
We'll see if he gets to 101. They're just about to kick off Sacramento. It is a local time 8 p.m. kickoff for Sac Republic hosting Lexington. That one about to begin. We've also got some milestones perhaps on the horizon for Aiden Quinn near the top of the assist leaderboard, and Lorenzo Martinez in the all-time goal contribution leaderboard, having a ton of success right now for Birmingham. Scores from around the league, a week that started in the midweek here in US. anything can happen in this funny old sport sometimes, but this one seems to be in hand. Orange County up 3-0 and up a man on the Chris Pearson red card. Half number 2 on the way.
Kids grow up fast. You know when I first started noticing it? When I stopped getting hugs. With Command IQ, I found a way to get the hugs back. Watch.
Dad, the Wi-Fi is down.
Oh, let me see if I can fix it.
It's back. Thanks, Dad. You're the best.
With Command IQ, you can bring the hugs back.
I'm Jay, and as founder of Omega, I understand that as a business owner, you've got a lot in your mind. Let the tax credit ninjas at Omega get you the money. It's rightfully yours. It's not too late to score big on tax credits, but you gotta act fast.
Why is Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? It's because we only bottle the best alpine spring water, less than 1.5 miles from the natural spring source. And we're committed to preserving and managing those springs to ensure that they stay pristine. So when you want the best water nature has to offer, the choice is crystal clear. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Tonight's match is brought to you by the Noah Benedou Foundation. Never drive drunk, get home safely. Let's take a look back at highlights from the first half of action. For Orange County. On the Vegas side, one of the changes that I pondered late in that first half did come to pass. It is Jack Singer off, Gennaro Nigro on. It'll likely shift Yunus Budati into a center back role in this setup for Las Vegas, and Nigro will come out as the left wing back. Also, Vaughn Koval into the match. was Stefan Stojanovic who departed for Von Kovel, and that makes sense. I don't know that you or I said the name Stojanovic in that first half, just invisible in the attack for Las Vegas.
Yeah, that might have been the first time we've said his name, and it's at
Right.
half-time when he's leaving the game. And as we spoke about, there wasn't that much created offensively for Las Vegas. Yes, Johnny Rodriguez did have a couple of half chances that he created himself when he was found in dangerous areas, but there wasn't any great service that really provided the strikers opportunities to score goals.
Where we go in half number 2, Orange County left to right in the orange, Vegas right to left in the blue. Alongside Chris Nurse, I'm Joe Malfa. 3-0 lead after a dominant first 45 minutes, and Vegas is down a man. Substitutions are brought to you by MediQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks. An early opportunity here in this second half already for Orange County. It is their first corner of the match, presented by Cityside Fiber. For all their one-way traffic in that first half, did not have a corner.
Yeah, and as I spoke about, I think it's important that they stay on the front foot in the second half, that they don't play the game based upon the scoreline. I think they continue to do what they do well, moving the ball, defending well, driving forward, getting runs into the box, and being clinical.
Whipped in from that corner, headed clear. In again. You mentioned coming out of halftime. Come back to that in a moment. Somehow skirting that sideline. Ball at his feet. Ciota keeping the attack alive. Hagar centering. Another header clear by Gartig. Koval comes away with it. Cleared length of the field here. Shuttler waited for it, ends up volleying it away. You mentioned 3-0, 5-0 doesn't really matter. To some extent it could. Tiebreaker could come into play for these two teams in the playoff race. First tiebreaker is head-to-head. As of now, it would be one win apiece. Second tiebreaker is goal differential and head-to-head matches. Vegas beat Orange County by a 1-0 scoreline. Orange County up 3-0. Vegas could bring it back to 3-2. As far-fetched as that may sound, down a man, it could factor in that regard. But
I'm going to throw this stat back at you. They've scored 13 goals so far in 17 games this season. I don't think they've shown they have the capability to come back and score 4 goals or even 3 goals and win this game. I think they've got to focus on winning games. And as I said, if it means that they now need to be expansive and go after this game, then that's what they need to do to try and find some positivity going forward for the next game. Because if they just sit back the remainder of this game and allow Orange County to see the game out 3-0, then they build nothing going forward for the next game. I think if they start to try and impose themselves a little bit on the game, whether it's mentality, character, just going out there and competing a little bit, then there's going to be some wins that they can take forward to go forward for the next game. But if they just try to sit back and defend a 3-0 loss, I think it's a night wasted.
You're spot on in all of that. I just thought it was an opportunity to remind our viewing audience, now that we're getting into playoff talk, second half of the season, just over 10 to a dozen games remaining, depending on the team, of what the tiebreakers are. But I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I'm going to be looking forward to the point when we get to 11th and 12th teams focusing on relegation rather than playoffs. That's where I'm going to be excited, is when the teams at the bottom of the table start to look at the league below and where they don't want to be, instead of being able to still be able to linger and be comfortable that, right, if we don't make playoffs, we're still going to be here next year. I can't wait till there's so much at stake where that's going to be the focus, that they don't want to be in that situation whatsoever. And hopefully we expect it on the horizon, but hopefully it arrives sooner rather than later.
It's on the horizon, possibly a couple seasons away. USL Championship, League One. Magro keeps it in play. They are staying true to playing out of the back, Vegas, something you were sort of hoping they would abandon after the way that first half went. Not just playing out of the back for playing out of the back's sake.
Well, not abandon, but if you're going to do it well and efficiently with players who have the capability and the skill set to be able to execute. And I think that's the key defining factor, is that if you're going to play that way, you need to have players who...
Rodriguez snaps it on just wide. That's their first good look. It wouldn't have mattered. Offside flag came up late.
Players who have the technical ability, players who are comfortable receiving under pressure, and they have to have a good understanding of the synchronized movements and the options available when they receive the ball. in that situation, you're not going to have the time and space to take a touch and then think about where your next pass is going, as we saw in the situation that resulted in a red card. It was a pass that was played with not the right weight, to the right foot. Even when he received it, what was his next option going to be? It got stolen from in front of him. He then tries to make a recovery tackle, and it's a red card, and now your team's down to 10 men for nothing, when you really think about it, because you had good possession of the ball to begin with. So for me, it's weighing up the risk and reward, where you are in the table, what your objectives are for the season. If your objective is to be efficient and make the playoffs, you've got to make decisions that align with that objective. It's maybe not always going to be fancy and pleasing on the eye, but we've seen the top teams in the league, as we spoke about, Louisville 4-0 against Loudoun, 25% possession in the game, but they win the game 4-1. Are they happy with the style of play in that game? Danny Cruz put his hands up. He said, we did what we needed to do to win that one game. It's not how he wants to play every game, but they had to adapt to get the result on that occasion, and they did exactly what he wants them to do. And I think that has to be one of the staples of successful teams, is being able to adapt based upon the problems that the opponents face at the weekend, rather than staying stubborn and just sticking to one way of playing.
Into the second half now, do you want to see Orange County play the way they've been playing, or see them just ease off, be pragmatic, and just seal the deal?
I think we've seen them ease off. I think you've probably seen Las Vegas string together their longest sequence of pass possession despite being down a man, and sometimes that's what happens. You go down a man, the team that has the extra player drops off their intensity. They start to slow things down a little too early in the game, and the team that's down a man has nothing to lose anymore. So they generally tend to start playing with a little bit more freedom, a little bit more expansive, a little bit more risk, because they already know they're at disadvantaged position. So things can't really get any worse when you're down a man and you're already down 3-0. What you'd really like to see is how Orange County take advantage of that situation, where it's moving the ball quickly, you have an extra man, move the ball in less touches, whether you create overloads in wide areas, whether you throw one more attacking player forward. You'd really want to see how Orange County go about taking advantage of that extra player that they have.
Trying to force his way through here. Chris Hagart lays it off. Usman Silla going for goal. Save made by Rosarena. That would have been a deserved goal for Silla, the way he's been playing tonight.
Yeah, we've spoken about his tenacity in midfield, whether he's been one driving forward and creating or finding key passes for his teammates. But there we saw his ability on the edge of the box just to find himself in a position where he can take a touch. He doesn't try to smash it, he actually tries to place it into the corner. And as you can see, it still pulls out a big save. As one of his teammates been arriving at the back post, there's an easy tap in there, but still pulls out a big save from Rosarena, despite not smashing the ball as hard as he can.
Leal is possessed. He'll stay with the lights. Throw down in that corner. Magro.
Danny Stone definitely has one eye on the clean sheet. You can tell, because they haven't taken out a midfielder or a defender and put another player forward, which means they still want to stay pretty compact and defensive in their approach to the remainder of the game. You envision that maybe they sacrifice a defender and put another attacker on so they can be a little bit more offensive minded. You can see that they're pretty content staying with how they're working right now.
Yeah, only 2 clean sheets this season. They've struggled here and there, just some miscues at the back, games where maybe they should have had a clean sheet. They let their guard down.
This is where they can be patient. They don't need to force it. You can see Las Vegas have really dropped everyone behind the ball. Just be patient, keep possession of the ball, suck them out, and those pockets and holes they're going to expose themselves. You're not going to have to create or look for passes that aren't there.
Agro with nowhere to go. Takes it almost as he dribbles it out for a corner nearly. Up the sideline, Leal, he's pressured. And just cleared. Nate Jones, not far enough, taken by Benalcazar. Battle along that sideline, throw for Orange County. Champions of the USL Championship in 2021. Balance of power has stayed in the West over these last couple of years. Orange County in 21, San Antonio 22, Phoenix 23, Colorado Springs 24. Straight years, trophy lifted by a team in the Western Conference. They'd like to sneak back into the playoffs this year. That's how they won it in 2021. They got in, they went from there. As of right now, they poke their noses above that playoff line after at one point today being bottom of the table.
Johnny Rodriguez again just keeping possession for his team, using his body to protect him, winning free kicks. This is where Orange County just have to be very patient. They're forcing the opportunity a little bit too much and giving away possession of the ball. If they're patient, most teams at this level, once you connect 10 or 15 passes, somebody's going to get impatient and break their shape, and that's the moment when you can play forward and break through them. So Orange County just have to be a little bit more patient and force Las Vegas to break their shape, and that moment when somebody goes chasing is the moment when the space is going to be there for them to play in behind. They have a great opportunity here, being a man up, to really stretch the field and make it wide and pull this Las Vegas defense apart.
Trying to do exactly that right now. Fed through to the end line at Zubak. He squares it back, but it has some spin on it. Jones takes care of it. Turn it out toward Gnarly, and are we gonna have a mascot holding a baby? He's afraid. Gnarly's being a little careful there with the baby on the railing. Well, pose for pictures. He won't hold your baby. That's what we've learned in the last 30 seconds about Gnarly. And honestly, same. You know, you've got kids, Chris. I don't. I'm not trusting myself to hold a baby yet.
Yeah, the risk. I'll take the chance.
I gotta get over that quickly, though. I'll be an uncle in a couple of weeks, so gotta get over that fear.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is what you want to see a little bit more from Orange County. Maybe just a little bit quicker, 1 and 2 touches, moving it really intentionally, trying to pull Las Vegas apart. At the moment, the passing is still, it's a little bit slow, it's a little bit labored. It needs to just be a little bit quicker and sharper to really open them up.
It's an opportunity for Danny Stone and his group to work on some things, too. You'll be faced with this situation. You never know when. Could be a playoff game. Could be a key game to get into the playoffs. And maybe instead of 3-0, it is 0-0 still. You have to find a way to break a team down in a low block playing with 10 men.
Exactly. Sometimes you can be playing a team that has all players on the pitch, and if they drop down in a low block, that's 10 players behind the ball. You still have to figure a way to break them down, which is a similar situation right now. You've got 9 players behind the ball. How can you break them down and be patient and still create goal scoring opportunities without forcing and turning it over?
Overlap was there from Ciota. Now it's fed that way. Ciota delivering. Loose in front. Zubak had a chance. His header blocked.
It's not bad at all, but these are the moments that Danny Stone will want to focus on. Is when that ball comes out, can they quickly recover it and continue to build the attack rather than turning over and giving a free kick or allowing the opponents to get out of the pressure. When they aren't able to break down, the opponents clear it, can they quickly bring back possession and continue to build again?
Usman Silla picks up a yellow here for that foul. And he was very apologetic for a reason in that challenge. He was on that 2023 Clemson national title winning team as teammates with Sean Smart, who he just brought down.
I don't know if that counts for the 90 minutes when you're on the pitch. I played against my brother in national team, and on the pitch, unfortunately, we couldn't be friends or family on the pitch. We had to wait till after. Even one time I played against my best friend, and there's no friends or family on the pitch for those 90 minutes. As you know, sibling rivalry is a real thing, and if you're the loser, you're going to know about it. So I'd rather be the winner than the loser.
Fed through to the end line for Zubak, especially around these parts here for Orange County. They know all about the sibling connections. Brian Olaski, Milan Olaski of days gone by.
Yeah, I'm maybe from the old school. There's no swapping jerseys at half-time or after the game. Unless we win. If we win, yeah. The culture that you see now with players swapping jerseys at half-time, like you can't go out with the mentality to destroy your opponents, and you're already worried about switching his jersey at half-time.
That's new, and I'm with you. I'm not a fan of that. That has happened in the last, I think it's become more noticeable in the last couple of months, seeing some of the camera look inside the tunnel. Post-game, sure. Halftime?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
And I think it's maybe more lax leadership, allowing players to be more reflective or more relaxed in moments in the game. I know there's some head coaches that would not tolerate that whatsoever and would let players know that that's never going to be acceptable in their environment, because the goal is to go out there and win, not to be in admiration of the players that you're up against. It's to make sure that if you're playing against the best player in the world, make sure he doesn't have a good game today. Don't be worried about chasing his jersey. If you're focused on that part of it, then it's very difficult to go out and stop him from playing in the way that you're supposed to.
Hour gone, half hour remains. No doubt about that foul there. Play on quickly for Orange County. They want to get it right back into the action. 30 minutes to go. Orange County up 3 and up a man. Glad to have had you with us this evening on ESPN Plus with Chris Nurse. I'm Joe Malfa. This is potentially a statement for Orange County, assuming they hold on. At one point today, they were in last on 17 points, the way other games had come to pass. Oakland winning, Colorado Springs winning. But now with this lead, they're above the playoff line themselves. Looking for a fourth, fed through for Silla, and he mishit it. The annual Corporate Cup coming back around on September 19th. Corporate Cup is a 7v7 co-ed adult soccer tournament that raises money for our OCSC Foundation Soccer for All programs. Think your organization has what it takes to win the trophy? Register now at orangecountysoccer.com/corporate cup.
I will say though, when it comes to that kind of culture, as a younger player, the senior players would have pulled me back from doing anything like that before I even thought about it. And then it's obviously the responsibility of the senior players to make sure the younger players understand their roles and responsibilities also. I think the problem you have is if it's your senior players doing that, then you might be in a problem with the culture in your club. Or it may just be acceptable in the new way things are governed.
Concern right now is Vaughn Koval. Earlier in this half, you saw him come right over to our camera that we have down there on the field. Picked up a knock, it seemed on his ankle. He's been hobbling around a little bit. He subbed on at halftime for Stefan Stojanovic. He took himself down here. You wonder if his night is done. Now 2 changes coming on the other side for Orange County. Ryan Dogman and Nicola Ciota coming off. Swap of the wingbacks here. Koa Santos, Pedro Guimaraes coming on.
Kumar is obviously one of the hottest prospects, young players being discussed right now in the US soccer ecosystem. Perfect opportunity to give him an opportunity to get out there and get his feet wet. Threes are up against Las Vegas, who aren't really providing you too much problems. I'm sure his coach is giving him some objectives that he wants him to do for the remainder 30 minutes of this game.
Vaughn Koval will be subbed out here and came on at halftime, but now he's picked up an injury. Coleman Gannon will replace. Two changes remaining on the Vegas side, 3 changes remaining on the Orange County side, and make that one more change remaining now for Vegas, because they will make another swap here in this window so as not to waste a window with just one sub because of the injury. They'll take off Patrick Leal and bring on Dauda Peters. All subs brought to you by MedEquip. Check out all the new arrivals for the 2025 season. This week's new arrivals feature the Back to Blue collection, including a royal blue and orange scarf and fan favorite Sport Heat Ultra Cozy hoodies and t-shirts. Visit OCSCshop.com. I always enjoyed being a fan. Sorry, Chris. I always enjoyed being a fan on some of these nights. As a kid, going to the stadium with my parents and family. When your team is up and you don't really feel threatened at all, these are your moments where you can go around, find Gnarly, take a picture with the mascot. You go to the play area, and you can have some fun. These are the really fun and easy to breathe nights as a fan.
Yeah, but you don't generally want too many of these nights.
Right.
For the league or even at Las Vegas, as we've seen, there's been a number of times when 10 men are able to compete fairly efficiently. I just think even when Las Vegas had 11, they just were lacking it a little bit collectively as a group in how they go about attacking you. And you're seeing now that the energy's just dropped collectively and the game's become very flat for both teams.
I think the majority of that has to do with the 3-0 scoreline. If this were still 0-0 with Vegas down a man, or even 1-0 with Vegas down a man, I think it's just a psychological factor of being down 3 goals and down a man, where both teams sort of look at this, and if they had the option, might have just punted on this second half altogether.
Yeah, and I think it's a character test because in every situation, of course, the team is going to drop, but you're always looking for 1 or 2 or a handful of players who are really going to dig in irrespective of the scoreline. They're the players who really make a difference. The score might be 4-0, but you have that one player who's capable of making a difference or just doesn't give up in that situation and drives the rest of the team on. And that's how the avalanche starts. Maybe you get back 1 goal, maybe you get back 2 goals, and then 3 goals becomes visible. Right now, if you don't change the approach or the mentality, there's no chance of getting that 1 goal, let alone the 3.
Nice build up and movement here for Orange County. Starting to pick apart Vegas a bit. The ball played in, looking for Zubac. Guimaraes, nice turn underneath, showcasing some of that skill. Why he's as highly touted as you mentioned. 17 years of age, 9th appearance on the season in that U.S. soccer ecosystem, youth national team setup. Certainly not the last, or not the first, and won't be the last for Orange County in that regard. Bryce Jamison right now, who's on a lot of radars abroad. Kobe Henry, a player, moved on to Europe and then loaned back to the United States with Real Salt Lake and MLS. Part of that title-winning team with Orange County back in 2021. They've done a great job of producing that young talent.
Osandina, Iloski.
Milanowski lighting it up at MLS. He was on loan at San Diego. They terminated that loan because they couldn't come to a larger agreement, so he's back to Europe. For now, at least. The window is very much open. It seemed like San Diego left it open where they might try to renegotiate getting him back.
Such an important part of this team for so many seasons, Milanowski. And they actually did well in his departure. He obviously left a big hole, but they actually did fairly well. His brother stepped up pretty big and things just fell off over time. And I think now you lose Carl Scott, you lose Iloski. They were 2 staples of some of the most successful times that the organization's had.
It does feel in some regards like Orange County could be one of the sleeping giants, though, in this Western Conference. You look up and down the roster, there's talent everywhere, there's proven talent everywhere, and it has always felt this year like they haven't quite been playing up to their full potential. They've almost had that handbrake on. They've had some injuries, they've had some other things to deal with. One of the biggest things is just been playing a large, steady diet of road games as of late, which again, you have to deal with. That's part of the game. You have as many home games as you do road games, but they all came at once in just an awkward phase of the schedule. 5 of the last 6 for Orange County. And a lot working against them.
Yeah, I think they are sleeping giants, but they've been sleeping for maybe a little too long.
A little bit too long.
I think it's too many seasons are in the same mode, and even I want to believe the season when they did win the playoffs, they finished 8th in the regular season, so it was kind of a bittersweet. Well, for me, it's bittersweet because I think the regular season champion proves the one that can be consistent over the course of 10 months, week in, week out. But they did find a way to be successful that year and obviously set a standard of being a championship team.
Last year, they turned it around in August after Danny Stone came in, made the playoffs. Ultimately fell there, played in, nothing doing to test Colin Shuttler.
But as you see, it's become a pretty norm to be a championship team one year and then maybe to be outside the playoffs for a large portion of the season the following year, which we're seeing right now with Colorado Switchbacks, current champions, now sitting outside of the playoff positions despite picking up a win tonight. But I do expect to see them climb into the playoff positions fairly short. Smart's been moving a little gingerly tonight. since that early tackle in the game, he's seemed to be limping and hasn't been able to jog it off. We've not really mentioned his name offensively in any capacity tonight.
Vuklatinovic down now, center back for Orange County. Another name we haven't had to mention because Vegas have hardly had any opportunities that have tested Tom Brewitt, and Vuklatinovic does look like a change is in the offing here for Orange County. Just pulling on the jersey, Ashton Miles. That might be it for Vuklatinovic. Change coming on this back line. Fourth official has the board ready, just waiting for the confirmation on the card.
Probably want to shut this quieter nights. Normally he's coming up with save after save for Orange County in between the sticks, but it's hardly been called upon tonight. As we mentioned, not much in the offense for Las Vegas.
Ashton Miles coming in. Vuklatinovic coming off for Orange County. Sub brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Silla looking ahead for war. Something going on down with the fourth official and the assistant referee. Chatting with Danny Stone, who was ready to bring on another sub, but he just ushered Cameron Dunbar back over to sit down.
And as we spoke about, the intensity's dropped off from Orange County, and we wanted to see them kick on and really put their foot down, but against, well, for the most part, against 11 men in the first half, they're able to score 3 goals. So far, against 10 men in the second half, they've struggled to create meaningful goal scoring opportunities. They haven't got themselves on the score sheet. So the first half, in probably a more difficult situation, they actually performed better than the second half, where they should really have kicked on a little bit.
Back for Shuttler. Maybe the most times he's had to touch a ball in succession tonight. Santos, part of that title-winning team last year, Colorado Springs.
When it goes centre back to centre back, this is the moment when the centre back can drive forward, which allows the midfielders and the wide players to get higher. With the centre backs just standing still and not taking up that space in front of them, it doesn't allow the midfielders or the wide players to get any higher up the field. So they end up just passing the ball statically in the positions that they're in, rather than getting space up the field. Here, you'd want to see him take that 20 yards of space in front of him and bring the ball forward, rather than just backwards and sideways.
Is that coaching? Is that just vision from the defender?
Maybe just how they're approaching this phase of the game. If they're chasing the game, for sure, he's going to drive into space and look forward. But they have an extra man, so evidently there's going to be moments where they can use that to advantage, where they can drive forward, where they can play forward. But the sideways and backwards doesn't really allow them to take advantage of that.
Two changes here for Orange County. It'll be Cameron Dunbar replacing Usman Silla, who's had an outstanding performance this evening. That'll be all for Kevin Partita in the midfield as well. An opportunity here with this scoreline to bring on Oliver Koenig. Pardon me. Kevin Karam coming out of the field now for Orange County. Kevin Karam making his first appearance. Opportunity in a 3-0 game. A man up to give some players some experiences they wouldn't otherwise get here. For a team that has relied so much on giving their young players a chance and seeing what they could do with it. Look at the start tonight on the right side for Nicolas Ciota in his second start. Guimaraes on the ball now, the 17-year-old. Something we know about Orange County, they're going to trust in their academy setup and their young players. Proactive in taking these opportunities here in games where the result's not in question, to give them some experience, a taste of the speed, the opposition, the bright lights, everything. Karam sliding into the midfield. Cameron Dunbar here going for goal, had it blocked. He's one of those players, as we talk about Orange County as sleeping giants maybe in the West, where it's always felt right there for Cameron Dunbar. Just as he gets into great form, an injury pops up. He's had such poor luck in that regard. Injuries that haven't really been related to each other necessarily either, where it's hard to call the kid injury prone. It's not like he's had a hamstring over and over and over. It's this, it's that, it's something else. It's a lot of bad luck. But when he's on the field, he is an electric player for Orange County.
Yeah, you always feel like that with Orange County, even when they do have a very strong roster, that there's always an issue and they're never able to have that strongest roster on the field due to injuries. There's always a key player who's missing for them at some point, and they're unable to have the success or the run of form that they'd like due to always missing key players at key moments in the season. Dunbar obviously falling into that category, unfortunately.
Looking for another one here. And out for a goal kick. We haven't even mentioned tonight Stephen Kelly, the big acquisition they had brought over from Scotland a couple of weeks back. He's suspended this evening due to a red card. And that is maybe the crown jewel of their acquisitions here in 2025. They expect him to be a major player in USL Championship. It was a big get for the league, a big get for Orange County. One of those guys that, so long as he's A, healthy, and B, not suspended as he is for tonight, will be one of those guys that Danny Stone pencils into his lineup without a second thought in that creative role.
And given the performance tonight, he has a positive platform to step forward onto. It would have been different if they're coming off a 3-0 loss and then he's expected to come in and be his superhero and change things on his own. But they've actually had a fairly stellar performance tonight, putting things together in a way that they haven't for a little while. So he's going to be able to come in and be an addition to this team and help them to continue to grow and improve.
Says play on, picked up by Coleman Gannon. Gannon, Sean Smart. Smart trying to find his lane through. Ends up going back. Nigro. Peters. Peters switches. Gotti feeding it through and knocked out for a corner. Can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Off the short corner routine, looking back post, and Alan Shuttler rises to gather. As you said, Chris, now hunting that clean sheet more than anything else with the dominance they've shown tonight.
Yeah, obviously your strikers normally have goal-scoring bonuses, but your defenders and your goalkeepers normally have clean sheet bonuses. So I'm sure that as the clock ticks on, they'll be locking in on how they can be rewarded or incentivized for their performances. As trivial as it sounds, it's an easy way to get everybody to buy into switching on defensively for the last 10 minutes of games. We always used to do as a team. Once the clock hit 83 or 84, everybody was locked in on a clean sheet bonus. So everybody would kind of just fall into a defensive mode and even turn up the intensity defensively for the remaining 10 minutes, knowing that you want to hold on to that bonus that you're potentially going to have.
They've only had 2 clean sheets this year, Orange County. Vegas preparing what will be their 5th and final change. Knight Pickering, we're told, will be replacing Sean Smart. Ball sneaks through, fed back post, no runner home. Comes all the way across, Dunbar lays it off. Options in the box, some contact there. Hagar plays through it. Dunbar for Brewitt.
Things become a little bit uncompetitive for Orange County here. It's just tough to watch. You're looking at Las Vegas competing against a team that started the night bottom of the table, and the game's become one-sided and uncompetitive, which is really disappointing in a game that we thought was really going to be competitive and end-to-end, both teams fighting to get themselves into the playoff positions. Las Vegas kind of just, after the first half, have just kind of sat back and kind of accepted it, the game for being what it is. Still not sure we've seen Shuttler make a save apart from the shot that Johnny Rodriguez had that went wide of the goal earlier in the first half. I'm not sure we've seen him involved in too much action.
Can go down this right wing for Coa Santos, delivering. Acrobatic from Rosarena. Had he not gotten that, Dunbar might have had a tap in. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play. Download now. And if you're not playing the E version, you can watch the real version. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Last change here of the evening for Vegas. Going to be Knight Pickering for Sean Smart. All subs brought to you by MediQuip.
One of Orange County's more comfortable evenings. They put in a solid 35 minutes work in the first half, and that's carried them through for the remainder of the game.
It'll be interesting to see where Vegas goes from here. A few weeks removed from that coaching change. Seemed like it ignited something in them. Tonight, just not their night from the jump, struggling, and then the red card really put things to rest.
Yeah, as we spoke about, he may not be judged.
But Dunbar latches on. Rosarena off his line. Dunbar goes for goal. Rosarena still made the stop with his left foot. Dunbar might have chosen wrong there. He could have either continued his run or gone for the chip.
Yeah, that should have been 4-0, and it should have been good night. Probably takes the shot a little too early. Had more space to just drive in and pick his corner there. Finishes a little too central. Rosarena manages to dangle his foot out and prevent it from going into the back of the net.
What you're starting to say as far as where Vegas goes from here, the concern right now is Dauda Peters down injured, but it doesn't get easier. And I suppose we could say that for every team, every week, in a season where there is no easy out. Even some of the quote-unquote last-place teams that you might have thought were layups a couple of weeks ago, the teams like Lexington and Hartford, they've come to life and made life difficult for opponents. From here, Vegas will have a little bit of a break. They don't play next weekend in either Jägermeister Cup or regular season play. It's a full weekend off, so they can digest, they can get back on track after a night like this. But then it's on the road against El Paso. It's home against San Antonio. It's at New Mexico. That's 3 in a row against teams in the upper half of the Western Conference. And then you got to host a North Carolina team that's flying high in the East before you end the month with a Lexington team that's now right up against the playoff line. You have them at home. Again, no such thing as an easy one anymore in this day and age of USL Championship, but it is particularly difficult for Las Vegas over the next 3, we'll call it 4 matches going through the rest of the month of August.
Yeah, and as we spoke about, if you're getting blown out by Orange County, you started the night bottom of the table, what's to come when you come against some of the top of the table teams who are plus in goal differential and approaching 30+ goals in goals scored? It's really going to have to be a significant turnaround, because as we mentioned, this Las Vegas team has only managed to score 13 goals so far this season. So of course, offensively, there's a lot of room for improvement, but you're also seeing a lot of cracks defensively that also need addressing. So I think it's going to be really tough for them to have high expectations this season. But I think there's a lot of work and reflection in how they really rebuild a squad that's able to compete from front to back.
On the other side, Orange County not off next week. They have a Jägermeister Cup game on the road against Oakland, though for the core pieces of the team, it might be a night off. It might be one of those nights where Orange County tap into a lot of their young academy kids because they are mathematically eliminated from the Jägermeister Cup. So then they turn around in the midweek. That is July 30th, Wednesday night, at home against Phoenix, a crucial game in the Western Conference race. They go on the road twice, at Pittsburgh, at Colorado Springs. So a couple of difficult opponents ahead, and 2 out of the 3 on the road where they've struggled this year. 1-5-1 away from the confines of this stadium. On the free kick, still looking for that clean sheet. They'll have to defend a corner here with 4+ stoppage remaining.
Yeah, exactly that. Approaching the last 10 minutes of play, you definitely want to protect that clean sheet and get that 3-goal victory. Sure, it's going to have everybody around the organization, the fans, the players, having that feel-good feeling once again.
From the corner, bouncing around, Orange County able to work it clear. Mohamedou War looking upfield. Can they spring a break? Ends up at the path of Dunbar. Offside flag comes up. I don't know about this one because I think it came off of a Vegas defender rather than a pass from Mohamedou War. And that's what Orange County is arguing here.
Yeah, I think lucky enough, his first touch took him way away from goal anyway. I don't think it was going to be a goal-scoring opportunity, even if it was onside.
Let's see, who does this come off of? My first thought was it was played by Nigro, and it was. That's why there was such an argument from the Orange County bench. That is not offside. That is played by Nigro. Assistant referee thought it came off of the Orange County player. Well, we haven't had to have this conversation for 87 minutes, but a reminder, no VAR in the equation here, still in USL Championship. Not that, again, it probably would have mattered here in the 88th minute of a 3-0 game with the winning side up a man as well, but still. Another poor giveaway by Vegas. Sloppy, the operating word of the night. Dunbar brought down.
Terrible giveaway. Terrible giveaway there from Nigro. You're down a man, and the last thing you need to do when you do win back possession of the ball is give it away so cheaply as they did in that situation. It's already hard enough. 3 goals down and a man down. Have good passing options and a turnover over possession. Dunbar here, who's been a thorn in the side since coming on, making runs in behind, tenacious, putting pressure on the back line.
Update from elsewhere, only one other game going on right now. It's in the Western Conference. It's Sacramento hosting Lexington. Still scoreless with 2 minutes to go before halftime, but Daniel Wu picked up 2 yellows, sent off for Lexington. Try from distance here, oh, why not? Orange County with the 4th. Vegas weren't ready for it. A special night for Orange County. It's Chris Hagart with the goal.
Las Vegas just switch off here, and even with the man down, you put 2 banks of 4, you're 4-4-1. You don't allow the center of the park to be wide open like that. Hagart just picks up the ball, drives forward, gets it out his feet, and a really good finish from distance. He's free, he's wide open, he's not under any pressure, and he just guides it into the corner, past the Rosarena. Gives his team a comfortable 4-0 lead.
The best reaction there was Nigro, who just looked at it and put his head in his hands. The whole back line for Vegas was looking at their mark, waiting, expecting a service. They go quick, Haggard steps in, and he scores.
Yeah, even the man down, you still have 2 banks of 4 where it's hard to break down, it's hard to create goal-scoring opportunities as easy as that. It's a free kick, and he just picks it up, drives through the heart of the field, and picks his corner. It's a good night for Orange County. It's a very, very bad night for Las Vegas, unfortunately, in the other hand.
Just starting to say, too, as that goal is brought to you by Hogue, starting to say that what has been a good night, to your point, for Orange County is maybe about to become a better night. That red card I was mentioning for Lexington before Orange County took the free kick quickly and added a 4th, that puts them in a difficult position. They're on the road against a red-hot Sacramento team that has won 3 straight games in their own right, now down a man going into halftime. Anything could happen again in this sport, but the stage is set for Lexington to drop points in that game, which would ensure that at the end of the night, Orange County would be in a playoff position. Had Lexington gone on the road and upset Sacramento, different story. Lexington would have leapfrogged Orange County into 8th, but now, with that one looking like it's a long shot for Lexington, when they put their head on the pillow tonight, Orange County, they should be in a playoff spot.
Yeah, and speaking of goal differential and the importance, this 4-0 victory will actually put Orange County into, well, they'll be on 0 for goal differential. So it's actually cancelled out all their negative goals, and they now sit on 0 and have a good foundation to build forward from. For Las Vegas, actually made things a lot worse. They started on minus 11 in goal differential. They're finishing tonight on minus 15 with goal differential. That's not a good look. The lowest goal differential in the Western Conference by some margin.
And we talked about it earlier as a little scuffle ensues here, little cards doled out. We talked about it earlier. When it's gone sideways for Vegas, it has been in spectacular fashion. 3-0 against San Antonio, 4-0 and 5-0 against Sacramento. 4-0 in this one. They had an instance where they gave up the 4 last game against Tulsa, in a game where they trailed 2-0, led 3-2, and they gave up 2 more late on. When the goals come against Vegas, they very much come in bunches, and tonight, another example of that. It was a little bit more surprising earlier in the year when they were very defense first under Nocerino. Since they've shifted to a more attacking mindset under Gio Treise, you can understand it, that sometimes you're going to concede when you're opening up that much by design.
Just trying to figure out the pathway for them to go forward. Right now, I think you're going to have every team in the league licking their lips at the opportunity to play Las Vegas. When you look at their ability to score goals, which hasn't been fantastic, and you look at the number of goals that they concede. Right now, they have scored the least goals in the Western Conference, 13. Right now, they've conceded the most goals in the Western Conference, 28.
To his feet here. There may not be any more in this game.
On top of that, they may still have the most clean sheets this season, right?
Right.
Sometimes
that's what I'm saying. When you look at the goal differential, it is very misleading in a way. Or you pick which one's misleading. Are the clean sheets misleading, or is the goal differential misleading? Either way, lead the league in clean sheets. Also the worst goal differential in the league.
I say a team that leads the league in clean sheets maybe lose games by 1 or 2 goals because your defense is solid. There's going to be games you may be losing a set piece or a mistake. To lose by 5-4 on a consistent basis, I would say that the clean sheets is probably the outlying statistic. I would say that the goal differential is probably a cleaner reflection of the team they've been so far this season.
Just waiting for that whistle now. 4 minutes of stoppage time come and gone after 3 were initially given. It has been all Orange County since the early going when Zubac scored 12 minutes in. They tacked on another in the 24th. They made it 3 in the 41st. They made it 4 in the 89th. And now the final whistle goes. The most lopsided victory of the season for Orange County. They score 4. They keep the clean sheet. They celebrate all 3 points here in Irvine.
Yeah, it's a miserable night for Las Vegas, but a fantastic one for Orange County, continuing their strong form at home, picking up 3 points. They find themselves sitting 8th in the last playoff position, have a fantastic platform to build on, and obviously you mentioned they have a new sign that's going to continue to come into this team and take things forward.
Tonight's man of the match, presented by Taqueria Hoy, is Usman Silla. It'll only show up with 1 assist on the score sheet for him tonight. In some capacity, he impacted all 3 of the first 3 goals. Could have had a goal or 2 of his own. Stellar in that number 10 role.
Yeah, he's a player that does a lot, and sometimes maybe you can miss the impact that he has if you're not looking at statistics. But he was definitely the man in the midfield for the vast majority of the game that was making things tick, keeping the ball moving, making key passes, driving forward with the ball himself, and he had a couple of chances. He definitely was tonight's man of the match for Orange County.
Chatting it up with a former college teammate. Those two won a national title together at Clemson, Usman Silla and Sean Smart. But it's Usman Silla celebrating tonight. Your final score, 4-0 in favor of Orange County, presented by F3 Energy. We're back in just a moment to wrap things up as Gnarly continues the celebrations with the fans.
RAV4 hybrid shoppers, listen up. You're paying more and getting less. The all-new Mazda CX-50 hybrid packs the same Toyota trusted hybrid powertrain, but delivers premium performance and more luxury. Why pay RAV4 prices when you get more with the CX-50 hybrid? And while Toyota dealers struggle with inventory, we have CX-50 hybrids in stock now at Tustin Mazda. Better tech, better value. Skip the wait. Buy a Mazda CX-50 hybrid now at Tustin Mazda. Think hybrid, think Mazda.
Why is Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? It's because we only bottle the best alpine spring water, less than 1.5 miles from the natural spring source. And we're committed to preserving and managing those springs to ensure that they stay pristine. So when you want the best water nature has to offer, the choice is crystal clear. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water, always bottled at the natural spring source.
Final score brought to you by F3 Energy. It's a 4-0 dominant showing for Orange County. 2 of those goals came after they went up a man in the first half, but I don't really know how much that red card would have mattered. They were taking it to Las Vegas from the jump. As I take you through full-time highlights brought to you by Omega Accounting. Going back
match.
of Sacramento and Lexington. That match will bring us to the conclusion of the week here in the USL Championship. Earlier in the year, Vegas found 2 wins over Orange County. Once in regular season play, once in Jägermeister Cup. Orange County, safe to say, got their revenge here this evening. Final score brought to you by F3 Energy. A 4-0 win for Orange County. For broadcast partner Chris Nurse, I'm Joe Malfa saying so long from Irvine. Big, big night for Orange County.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.